And how's it going, everyone? It is Skullzi here with the latest gaming news, rumors, and speculation. Another day, another Bethesda leak, and I know, I've been saying that joke a lot lately. However, at this point, it doesn't seem to be a joke anymore and seems to be 100% accurate, as again, somehow, we have yet another brand new leak, and this time this leak is huge because we have numerous potential unannounced games from Bethesda Softworks. Numerous ones. That means more than one. And many people in the community are already busy speculating over what these games could actually be. So let's not waste any more time and break all of this down. First off, the source of this leak is from an Nvidia data mine that took place yesterday when codename Hackerman Igor July activated his cybernetic upgrades and was able to gain full access to the GeForce Now library, including listings for many titles that aren't actually available yet and, even more so, aren't actually even announced yet. Games like Titanfall 3, Crisis 4, the GTA remasters, and a Final Fantasy IX remake, just to name like a tiny, less than 1% few. This list of leaks is truly massive, and potentially is one of the largest leaks of this entire year to date, and on top of all this, Nvidia recently released one of those old-fashioned damage-controlled corporate statements, just like Mama used to make, only their statement doesn't immediately make any sense at all, as they claim that this list doesn't represent future games, and instead, the list is entirely speculation and for internal tracking purposes. But that doesn't quite entirely make 100% sense here, as there are numerous games listed that don't have a name at all and are actually listed as their secret project codenames, meaning their internal development names that usually never meet the light of day, that the public never actually gets to know what they are. And almost all of these are secret projects that haven't been talked about or leaked anywhere else on the internet yet. I've googled these and haven't found anything at all. So it's clear that Nvidia does have some sort of insider knowledge about these games that are in development right now, and to be honest, this isn't uncommon, as stuff like this does tend to happen, as companies like Nvidia do tend to work with game developers early on through a game's development cycle, especially if new hardware or technology will be utilized or even featured and showcased in a specific game. With this in mind, it seems very likely that this leak does indeed contain numerous unannounced secret games from many different studios, including Bethesda Softworks. The entire list of games was uploaded to GitHub and is of course massive, but of course in today's video I want to specifically highlight a couple new Bethesda projects contained within this leak. One which seems to indicate a potential space MMO from Zenimax Online Studios, as well as perhaps even Prey 2 and maybe even Wolfenstein 3. But as you can see here, these are the Bethesda games gathered from this data mine as seen on the actual list itself. We have a lot of stuff here, everything from Redfall to the Elder Scrolls 6, which isn't Redfall anymore, and things like Starfield and the Elder Scrolls Online and more. But obviously I want to focus on the new stuff, the stuff that we don't know anything about yet, so get ready, hit that skooma, and let's get to it. First off, we got Project Omen, which is interesting to see here, as it was believed that Project Omen a long time ago was simply the internal codename for Redfall. This is further confirmed that Project Omen is an Arcane Austin game according to this list, and so is Redfall, so naturally I think it's safe to assume that Project Omen is indeed the internal codename for Redfall, which makes it strange that the codename would even be listed here in the first place, because as we see here, Redfall is also on the list. But this is where things get even more interesting, as the next game down the list is truly something that 100% isn't even announced yet, as if Project Omen is indeed Redfall, then what in Cher Gorath's titties is codename Black Sky? Black Sky 2 is listed as an Arcane Austin game, so it's definitely not the codename for Starfield like some people theorized over on my Discord server after I shared this information there, and you should totally join the Skullzi Discord, by the way, link down in the description below. But obviously this codename Black Sky is not Redfall, as Redfall is supposedly Project Omen, like I just said. Deathloop isn't from Arcane Austin either, and instead is from Arcane's France Lyon location, so clearly Black Sky is something different altogether. But what could it be? The most obvious and perhaps exciting theory is that it could be Prey 2, as well, space is mostly black, and space is in the sky, and Prey is set in space, so with these perhaps rather silly powers combined, maybe Prey 2 is indeed codenamed Black Sky. I mean, it does seem like it makes the most sense here when you put it that way, right? When you put all this together, it seems like Black Sky would be Prey 2, but there's actually another lesser-known possibility here. Earlier in the year, a rumor popped up thanks to a Arcane Austin LinkedIn employee profile stating that Arcane Austin was working on some sort of fantasy-style game set in the Unreal Engine. One could argue be that Redfall could be considered a fantasy game, but when I think fantasy, I think swords, shields, knights, dragons, that sort of thing. If Arcane is indeed making a fantasy game like the rumors suggest, then maybe codename Black Sky could be this fantasy game. However, that is just speculation based off of even further speculation based off some information from a LinkedIn profile, so that doesn't seem like the most likely scenario here, nor does it seem like it has the most credibility. Of course, it is also possible that Project Omen is something else other than Redfall, and codename Black Sky was actually Redfall's internal development name, but if that is the case, then that would just simply switch all the speculation from Black Sky to Omen then, and we'd still be in the same predicament of wondering what the heck this new mysterious Arcane Austin project is. With all this in mind, and based off everything I just broke down here, I think that codename Black Sky is indeed a new Arcane Austin project, and I actually do believe it's most likely Prey 2, but don't accept this as fact quite yet. Don't run around and shout from the rooftops like Altair and Skooma that Prey 2 is confirmed. Instead, let's wait for official confirmation from Bethesda regarding whatever this project is. But I mean, what else could codename Black Sky even be if it's not Redfall or Prey 2? Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. Next up, we have a Tango Gameworks leak, as a project simply named Hibiki is listed as well. Hibiki is actually translated from Japanese into sound, according to the translation powers of Google. So maybe it's codenamed for Ghostwire Tokyo if sound has something to do with Ghostwire Tokyo, or perhaps it's the new rumored IP from Shinji Mikami, as Shinji stated after Ghostwire that he would like to actually do his own IP and creation, a game of his own. But while he did state this in numerous previous interviews, nothing is confirmed yet regarding this new IP actually happening or ever going to happen. Maybe Hibiki is the codename for the next Evil Within sequel. But again, only time will tell here, and Hibiki is a harder nut to crack and speculate over than, say, codename Black Sky. Next up, we have a game from Zenimax Online Studios simply referred to as Kestrel. It's confirmed that ZOS are indeed working on a new MMORPG project that is rumored to either be an MMO extension of the Starfield universe or potentially even a superhero MMO. The term Kestrel is actually associated with the type of falcon, so it could easily be associated with either a superhero game or a space game, as you tend to fly in both of those genres, and falcons tend to fly around too. But again, Kestrel is likely just a codename and not the actual name of the game itself. But either way, this is very likely at least the codename of the new massive Zenimax Online Studios MMO. Apparently this game will have something to do with flying based on Kestrel, but personally I believe Kestrel would still be a Starfield MMO standalone game, as thus, so far Zenimax Online Studios' only other game is literally the MMO version of a single-player Bethesda Game Studios franchise, that obviously being the Elder Scrolls Online. So, by that logic and established pattern, it would seem like Kestrel would most likely be a ZOS Starfield MMO standalone game set in the same universe as the single-player BGS equivalent. Next up, we have Platinum, which apparently is the name for the Indiana Jones game. Not sure if this was the codename for it or simply the subtitle, but it does say Indiana Jones right there. Perhaps Platinum has something to do with the game's story. If any Indiana Jones buffs like Todd Howard could give some kind of insight as to what Platinum could mean for the Indiana Jones game story or setting, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. And then finally, we have a new Machine Games title, codenamed Relic. It's been confirmed for a while now that Wolfenstein 3 would happen at some point in the future, eventually, but it's never been confirmed to be in development yet. We all know that Machine Games are working on an Indiana Jones game, so maybe Relic is simply the codename of that. That's totally a possibility because, I mean, Relic does have to do with the Indiana Jones universe and just overall vibe, seeing how he does like to find those relics and stuff, but if not, then perhaps Relic is the codename for Wolfenstein 3, and perhaps the game centers around trying to discover a relic that could finally end the trilogy storyline. In my opinion though, Relic does seem like it would most likely be the codename for Indiana Jones though, but again, this is just my own speculation here. It seems much more likely though in my opinion that Relic would be the codename for the Indiana Jones game and Platinum would be the subtitle. So Indiana Jones, Platinum, or something like that, I guess. And that is it! These are all the leaked unknown Bethesda games listed within this data mine from Nvidia, and to be honest, this is a massive list, even just in terms of the Bethesda stuff itself. We got some of the only insights thus far into what some of these confirmed games that are in development right now could be from the various Bethesda studios, and on top of this, we got some new unannounced projects leaked to us as well, and on top of that, there seems to easily be over 100 different games from different developers in this list also. This leak is insane, and no doubt will be covered and talked about for the next couple of weeks, at least within the gaming industry. Remember though, this should all still be considered speculation. Don't let your hype enter confirmed territory yet. yet until we actually hear confirmed information and announcements straight from Bethesda regarding all of this. To be honest though, we probably won't get any official word from Bethesda about this leak in any way, shape, or form, so only time will tell if my speculation and theories in this video remain true. Until then, let me know what you think about all this down in the comments below. What do you think these games could be? Let me know down in the comments, and be sure to give the video a thumbs up because it helps the channel out a lot more than you may think. If you enjoy the content, please subscribe, as that's one of the greatest ways to help grow the channel and the community, and share the video because that's yet again another way to help the channel grow. In fact, channels only really ever grow depending on how often their community shares the content. And finally, if you want to go above and beyond to support the channel and community, you can support the channel over on Ko-fi, Patreon, or here on YouTube as an exclusive channel member. Links for all this and more are down in the description below, and as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time when this list is just insane.
It just works.